You're checking all the boxes of success, hitting all the goals, leading your team, showing up for your family, but deep down, you feel kinda flat. This one is for you. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why outer success does not always lead to inner fulfillment and how to reconnect with the part of you that's been quietly calling for more. I know this terrain because I lived it, and what I discovered will change the way you lead, the way you love, and the way that you live. See, we've been taught to define our successes by our promotions, our paychecks, our productivity. But never are we taught how to feel successful and what really fuels that feeling. No one tells us that when we go and do everything they told us to do, build success from the outside, that leaves us feeling empty on the inside, even while everyone else thinks that we're crushing it. This is what I call sophisticated sleepwalking. You're functioning. You're smiling. You might even be inspiring other people. In fact, you probably are. But inside, it's almost like you've left the building. I know this because I've done it. I had a great private psychotherapy practice. I was in a marriage. I had a beautiful baby, a beautiful house, the friends, the neighbors. But no one really knew what was going on behind closed doors except for me. And the image that looks great on paper all came crashing down one night when I found myself in jail. Well, actually, it came crashing down long before that, but it led to a night in jail. Literally behind bars, asking myself, how the hell did I get here? I've been so busy focusing on success that I forgot myself in the equation. And that's what sophisticated sleepwalking really is. And I use the word sleepwalking because we really are asleep at the wheel. And it's okay because it's how we've been built. It's how the mind and body are built. We are just in an automatic program the majority of the time. And you know that because you can't remember tying your shoe this morning, I'm sure, right? You maybe have a vague memory of turning the coffee maker on, but not really, because you know how to do it so well that you're just on automatic pilot. And this is how we get when we think about success. We do all the things without really knowing what we're doing in total automation until that one day when you wake up feeling empty. And this is how I began to understand that success without self is just another kind of stuff. So what's missing? It's not more hustle, not a better planner, although I do love a good planner. And it's not a better morning routine, although I do love a good morning routine. What's missing is you, your presence, your truth, your essence. What's missing is what I call the soul ID. And here's the twist. It's not something that you get. It's who you already are. Beneath the roles, beneath the proving, beneath the performance, beneath the person that you've been trained to be. ID in Soul ID is your inherent divinity, your inherent design. There's only one of you. It's your unique signal, your soul's signal, your soul's frequency. It's that part of you that's not confused. It's not exhausted. It's the part that isn't performing. So here's how you may know that you might be stuck sophisticated sleepwalking. You're celebrated, but you're disconnected. How many times in a day or in a week or in a month do people sing your praises to you and you don't let it land? You don't feel it. So you've got something going on in the outer world. You're hitting some marks, but in the inner world, nothing is landing. Nothing's feeling as good as it looks. Number 2, you say yes when your gut says no. Okay, ladies, we shapeshift to fit a room, do we not? How many times do you say yes when your gut says no? This is another sign that you're sophisticated sleepwalking. 3, you know in your mind that you've accomplished so much, but still something feels not enough. Are you someone who is constantly looking to the next, to the next, to the next? It's because you've tied your worth to that outer experience, but it's never enough. Because the only way it'll ever be enough is when you realize you are enough. And lastly, you might be sophisticated sleepwalking if you feel like you're starring in someone else's movie. Sometimes this happens when we choose a career path or a way of being or a project or anything that we're not really doing for ourselves. We're doing it because we know to let someone else down if we don't, or it's important to somebody else. but not necessarily to us. If any of those land for you, it's not because you're broken. It's because you've built a life that doesn't include or isn't currently including your soul ID, and you are not alone. So one of the times in my life where this was really clear to me that I was not living aligned with my soul ID was when I was working in my husband's financial business. And I did that for 12 years with him. I was a financial advisor, and it was great. I mean, we had a great time. We had amazing clients. He still has those amazing clients. And there was a lot of things that I loved about it. But there was a time that came that I felt like, man, something's missing. Like I just didn't know what was wrong with me. And my husband was playing a lot of softball at the time. So I thought, well, maybe I need a hobby. So I joined a chorus, and I did that for 2 years. And still, I just felt like something was missing. So then after a while, I was like, you know what? I really love working with women. Maybe we should point our financial practice toward working with women. And my husband was like, okay, sure. So we got a new office and we decorated and we started doing dinner seminars, and I started being the front person. I would do all the presenting. It was some of my first speaking gigs, if you can call them that. And my husband was doing all the back stuff, right? He's the financial genius. So he did that stuff, but I did all the front stuff. And I thought, well, this is really what I needed to do. I just needed to be out there more. I needed to be able to speak and all of those things. And about 6 months into it, I looked at him and I said, I don't want to do this. After we had just put like all this money into a new office and everything. And he looked at me and he said, well, I don't want to do this. He said, I was doing this for you. He said, I love my client base and I don't need to like become a huge business. I like what I'm doing. And I said, I want to talk to people, but not about money. It just wasn't my thing. And that's when I realized that what I really love doing is speaking. What I really love doing is going out and watching that light go on in people's eyes, talking about the stuff that I talk about now. And let me tell you, when you reconnect with your soul ID, the game just changes. You stop chasing clarity. You stop struggling. It wasn't like every day was great, not by any stretch of the means. I had to, at that point, build a business from scratch. I didn't know what I was doing every moment, but I knew that I was on the right track. And I never asked, is this enough after that anymore? I knew maybe I wanted more, but I knew that what I was doing fed my soul. And every step that I took, every decision I made felt more and more like a deep grounded yes. Even when I was nervous, even when I was afraid, even when the outer world was chaotic, your presence becomes your power, is what I'm trying to tell you. So you can build an empire from your false self. Don't get me wrong, you can do that, but that empire is never going to feel like home. So this week, try this. Notice the moments when you feel most like you, where you're not performing, you're not pleasing, you're not strategizing, you're just being. That's your soul ID peeking through. Listen to it. Listen for it. If this is resonating with you in any way, smash that like button. I want to know if the way that I'm framing this material is speaking to you. Next week, I'll show you why what you think is the problem, burnout, overthinking, people pleasing, other people, isn't actually the root issue. We're going to go deeper. If you're in, I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, go ahead and click the link below to take my free Stop Setting Boundaries class, because that is a whole lot more talk about exuding you and getting closer to that soul ID.